Hello my friends, I hope you have all been well since my last video. Today we are finally going to get into my budget for the last month of 2020. I've been a little busy lately getting all of the sale orders out from Black Friday and Cyber Weekend, but the last of those orders went out yesterday, so I'm finally able to kind of catch my breath and get back into filming. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit of a chatty video. I've had a few people request that I show my entire setup, so I'm going to do everything from zero. I will be starting with my calendar setup, and then I'll move into how I pre-plan our budget, which is going to be on my computer using Google Sheets. And then we'll get back into the paper version of the budget. So if you kind of just want to skip all of the setup portion, I will put a link down in the description for the start time for the actual budget. So let's go ahead and get started. I had a very hard time trying to pick which designs I wanted to use. I knew that I wanted to use either Daybreak or Christmas Berry for my calendar and the budget. I just wasn't sure which one. I finally settled on Daybreak for the calendar and Christmas Berry for the budget page because I like the color of the bill stickers for this one better. Okay, let me set these aside. And by the way, all of this can be found in my shop. I'm also going to set up the dashboard page as well. So let's set that aside. So what I tend to use for my calendar view is one calendar kit, usually 2 sheets of the bill stickers. And I use little flag icons over on the sidebar to separate the bills by week. So I'm going to use just this little extra freebie that I have here that gets included in some of the orders. And I'm going to be using the flags for that. Oops. So I actually forgot. I usually like to white out some of this design first so that it doesn't show through on the stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to lie, I am the worst at setting up or whiting out my planner, but as long as the sticker's going over it, I kind of don't care. And this part, since I don't use the day of the week cover strips, I kind of just eyeball it. I don't usually like to add the extra busyness on the page because I have so many things going on with the bills, but alright, and then what I like to do is take these colored dots from the bill sheet and I will set up a little key over here. I just have to decide what color I want everything to be. I think I'm going to do blue for Joe's business, purple for household, and pink for my business. So let's go ahead and do that. I really need to get a good set of tweezers for my planner, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Occasionally I will steal the bathroom tweezers if I really feel the need to, but I'm not gonna do that on camera. I feel like that would be a little gross. So, oop, that is so off. So I'm going to take this pen. I'm going to use a tool pen today. Let's see, I think it's a fine point. I think that's 0.5 or 0.05, whatever that's called. Okay, so we have household, gym, and caffeinated Cait. I usually run out of room when I write this, so I'm just going to leave it as CC. So next what I'm going to do is take all of my bills and I'm going to flip back to the previous month and I'll go through and copy all of those down. Okay, now that I'm fairly confident that I have everything copied over, I'm going to flip back to December and start putting the bills where they belong. Yay, so I have everything done. The next thing I'm going to put down is my paydays. I initiate a payment from my business account to our personal checking account on Friday, so the money lands in our account on Monday. So Monday is when I'm going to mark the paydays. And luckily this month it worked out nicely, so I didn't have to run into any bills. So that was nice. Okay. Sorry about that. Next, I'm going to set up my sidebar, which is a breakdown of our household bills by week. So let's start with the first week here. I don't remember how far across these go. Just start them right on the line there. Oh, I don't like that. Sorry. So I'm just a hair over. That's not too bad, actually. Sorry, I'm gonna be super OCD and start this right at the edge of the line. So this is going to be for the week of December 1st. Let me zoom you guys in just a touch here. Okay, so for December 1st, we're only going to be paying attention to household budget, and I actually just realized that works out nicely. I have these flags in purple, and I ended up choosing purple for the household color. I didn't plan that, but it works out really nice. So we're only paying attention to the purple bills here. So we have National Grid, mortgage, which is our electricity and natural gas, mortgage, my Discover minimum payment, trash, and car insurance. So we'll go write those in. Ooh, this is terrible handwriting, but that's okay. And also on the side here, I don't include cents, I just round up or down. It's just to get a general idea of the amount of bills coming out, so it's not super important that I be exact here. You know what? I'm actually going to just lump the last 2 weeks together because the second to last week only has our cell phone bill, which is only $60, and I'm not going to have a lot of room here. I like to have at least one white line, and the final bill would come right onto this last line if I split them up. I just don't think that's necessary. The end of the month for us is usually pretty light when it comes to bills, so. Oops. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator to add all of these up. All right, so it actually looks like we are good to go for the calendar, which means it's time to move into my spreadsheet and do the pre-planning for my budget page. Okay, I lied. Actually, I have one more change to make for this December budget. I'm going to put a payday down here on the 1st, on Tuesday. Doesn't quite fit there, but this will all make more sense once my November follow-up video comes out. But November was a dumpster fire, and basically the payday that I had planned for this Monday didn't actually hit until Tuesday. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that was Wednesday. Okay. So stay tuned for November budget results video because everything will make a little more sense there. It's actually a little complicated, but I'm going to do my best to explain it. And now we can move into the spreadsheet because that's going to be included in the spreadsheet, and I didn't want to confuse anyone. So we do have the 5 paydays down for December. Okay, so now we are in my pre-planning spreadsheet. I have it in this Google sheet that actually has a bunch of other things on here. I'm probably going to block some of these out, but I have this one spreadsheet that I am going to maybe share with you guys someday, but it has all of the information and balances for all of our debt for, let's see, going back to, this must have been 2018? Yeah. So going back to October 2018, I have recorded the balances for all of our debts. So this is kind of just a way that I like to track all of our debt balances and our debt snowball. Anything that you see in gray has been paid off. Red is priority. And some of I don't really know if I had any rhyme or reason for the other colors, but that's just what it looked like. And I also have a net worth spreadsheet that I started this October, and maybe I will start sharing with you guys in January. I'm not sure. But that is also in my finances spreadsheet. Okay, so here in income, we are going to put $5,000 for my business. For the gym, I don't like to necessarily depend on any income from it unless we really have to. Things are very difficult with the pandemic and everything going on, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that at 0. So for our mortgage, I did go in here and already start playing around, I guess, because normally our mortgage payment is lower than this monthly because of the bi-weekly payments, but they did fall on we did fall on a month with 3 Thursdays, so we have 3 mortgage payments. So that is the expense for that. Tuition's the same, car insurance, electric and gas, Spectrum, which is internet. I should rename these so that it's like easier for you guys to know what I'm talking about instead of putting the company. So trash, cell phones, life insurance, that is all the same. The only thing that changed was the mortgage. So for our debts, I have those separated out down here. We have a big truck driving by. We have my Jetta, my husband's Jeep, Discover, Navy Federal, and Home Depot. So this is something that, again, will make more sense with my November follow-up video. But towards the end of November, we actually ended up using 2 different credit cards and paid it off immediately at the beginning of December. So we did make payments that technically counted towards the minimum payment for Discover and Navy Federal. So I'm on the fence about actually budgeting for that because technically what's due is 0 for those. They're already taken care of. So I'm going to leave that at 0 in case we need more room to play over here, because if you've been following, you know that I don't really have any sinking fund money set aside for Christmas. And that's not because I don't want to put money into sinking funds. It's just that we've been trying to keep our heads above water and haven't had the opportunity to really build up sinking funds. So I'm going to leave that at 0 for now and then come back to it. So the balance left on the Home Depot card, the total balance left was pretty low, and instead of making the minimum payment, I decided to go ahead and pay the balance in full because I was sick of looking at it. So on the plus side, we are down 1 debt item, but I did already commit this much for the Home Depot card, so that is what we have in the budget. So what I have here on the left-hand side, obviously it totals up the fixed expenses as I enter them in here, and then it subtracts this bold number here from the total income, and it gives me the amount that I have remaining to budget for variable expenses. let's get rid of some of these. Okay, for grocery and household, let's start by putting in $450. I'm going to be a little more generous with it this month because there are some staple items that we need to stock back up on. And being that this is a spreadsheet, we can always go back and tweak the numbers. That's why I like to use this for my rough draft. For gas and auto, I'm going to say 75. That should be plenty for us, but we will see. I think I need an oil change still. For baby, let's try putting in 200. She is still in formula, and we do need to buy a new box of overnight diapers. She sleeps really well at night, but that does mean that she needs like much more absorbent diapers for nighttime, otherwise she ends up wetting her crib because she is a stomach sleeper, and yeah, if you have a baby, you know. So for home improvement, I'm gonna leave it at maybe 100. I honestly struggle with how to separate some of these categories, you guys, because I like to include household items like paper towels and things like that under the grocery and household because those are commonly bought at a grocery store, so it's annoying to separate the expenses into two different categories. So I like to lump that stuff together. But then also if I buy something or like organizational for the house, like bins or, you know, whatever, that usually gets put in the home improvement category. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there at 100 because we're not going to be doing any like projects around the house really, but I'm just leaving that in case we need to purchase more like organizational home improvement household type items. Anyway, for personal entertainment and eating out, we did purchase some shoes. Both my husband and I needed different shoes. I haven't bought new sneakers or like everyday shoes in probably 2 years, maybe even more. So mine were really yucky looking, and he needed new boots that would be waterproof and good for winter. So we did go shopping and got some shoes. I'm going to say overall for the category 300 because that will include personal items and any eating out that we do, which usually every like 3 weeks or so we'll get a large 24 cut pizza and split that with his brother. So we do stuff like that every once in a while. And then that also covers any family activities or things like that. That's entertainment for the whole family. Next, we need to think about Christmas, and this will include gifts, decorations. I'm trying to think of what else. Obviously, any like wrapping or what else? Holiday specific food, things like that. I will say 500 based on the fact that I think it was last year or the year before. The last time I actually specifically budgeted for Christmas, we did $400, and that really actually worked out pretty well. But now with 2 kids in the picture, obviously May doesn't need a lot in the line of gifts, but you know, I might buy some clothes or things like that. Anything that I do get for her this month, I'll just wrap up and let her rip apart because that's obviously the fun part, especially for well, she'll be 11 months, so an 11-month baby really only cares about ripping the paper, so. Sinking fund, I'm not going to plan on anything there. And then extra snowball payments, I would have put that extra Home Depot money over there, but since like I know exactly what the amount is, I just left it over here in the fixed expenses column. So we'll leave those blank as well, which means we have $450 left. I don't think we have anything else this month, so we do have enough for those minimum payments for the credit card, which is really nice. And then just a little bit remaining is fine because, again, that can go towards our checking account buffer balance and, you know, potentially any overages that we have there. It gives a little bit of breathing room, and I am okay with that. Okay, now we are back in my planner, and before we set up the budget layout, I'm actually going to put down my dashboard stickers first. I started to do this already and then realized that I wasn't recording. So we have the habit tracker sticker already down. Let me know what you guys think about this section here, if you would prefer that the habit tracker be formatted more like a grid instead of the way it is now. Let me zoom you in. Or, you know, would you prefer that it be just like a big lined section or maybe dot grid? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you would rather see. Maybe I will do some options. I don't know. I don't want it to be too many options to make it difficult to manage, but I do think that a variety of options for this section would be a good idea. Anyway, as you can see, I'm using the Merry and Bright theme for my dashboard. I really love this pattern, but I decided, not to use it. Oh no. That's the problem with whiteout. If you try to pull it up, you pull up the whiteout. I decided not to use it for the calendar or the budget layout simply because it wasn't as popular as the Christmas berry. So, just trying to give you guys what you like. Okay. These are not going to be perfect, but that's fine. So what I like to do, so these headers, the goals and habits are printed on, but I do offer a variety of extra little headers that you can use on the notes page or to label sections here. So I like to do next month for right here. So I'm going to write town property taxes. So our property taxes are paid manually because our mortgage company does not do escrow accounts. So we pay our taxes ourselves, and we have two different bills at two different times of the year. In January, we have our town property tax, and then in September, we have the school tax. So I'm not going to really fill this out at the moment. I want to think a little bit about how I want to lay it out, but I might do a section with gifts on this notes page side. I'm just going to put like the deco and stuff down. Ooh, that's super crooked. Oh my gosh. I really tried to get into using the like premium matte stickers because it's so much better print quality, but they don't peel back up as well, and that drives me crazy because I'm so bad at putting stickers down. So I don't know. If I can find a removable premium matte that's not crazy expensive, I would like to try that someday, but I'm just going to put down one little thin decorative strip of washi on the bottom and call it a day for this page. Zoom you back out a little. So now on our notes page, I will take my budget kit and start putting that down. So I line this up with the second line on the sheet. There we go. And you'll notice that my older kits do not come, oops, let's see if I can get that to focus. Do not come all the way to the edge because when the layers theme came out, they widened the notes pages a little bit. For my January kits and moving forward, that did get reformatted. Hold on. I have an oops sheet here that I'm going to show you. So this is just like one that printed incorrectly. So the full length of the sticker goes from one edge all the way, one margin all the way over to the other. So you can see the comparison there. It'll focus. Anyway, so January going forward is the correct size. So next I'm going to put down my income strip. And my script header here. There we go. And so I'm going to need room for my business income, Joe's income, and miscellaneous. Even though the second two I'm not going to plan for anything, I'm going to leave the space there. And then on the fourth line, the total. Next, I'm going to put down just a little divider, and I actually don't like to use up 3 whole lines before I start into the expenses, so I put this kind of centered on the, let me see if I can, so I'll center it like along this line, if that makes sense. So we have half above and below, and then I'll go into the expenses. Okay, now I want to check on my spreadsheet and see how many lines I'm going to need over here on the fixed expenses, because this is always the longer column. It looks like 14, and that leaves room for a space in between our regular bills and our debt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this line will be where I put the washi. What the heck is going on in the background? Of course, the day that I choose to film is the day that 2 of the garbage companies in the area, as well as the town's Department of Public Works, is doing their yard waste collection, just all on the same day. So there's diesel trucks going by all day. Alright, so now that I have all of these strips laid out, I'm going to go ahead and draw my lines, which I use a ruler for, and I'm going to use this gel pen that came in the Erin Condren seasonal surprise box for the fall. I don't actually like the way these write, but they do a really great job of drawing a straight line without smudging and looking crappy like I usually make my lines. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, when I originally designed this with the totals column in mind, ideally I would like to fit it on the bottom here, but I just have too many expenses for that to work. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the next page. I think what I'm going to do is go grab another sheet of headers, and I will be right back. Guess what I have out of print right now? I don't have any of these headers, but I dug through my oops pile and I found this, which I accidentally cut for a different, looks like, debt tracker, but the header was lined up, the cut lines were correct for the header, so I'm going to steal that. And go ahead and lay that down. And what I actually have been doing lately is putting our debt tracker in this our debt snowball tracker in this section, and then the totals column will go down here on the bottom. So let's put that on the bottom. Going to start with, oh darn it, I lined it up with the inside margin instead of the outside, so this sticks out over here, but whatever, that's okay. We'll line it up with the left side. This will all be much easier once we get into January and I have the kits fitting appropriately. So I'm going to put down a space for income, fixed expenses, variable expenses, and debt, extra debt payments, just in case we're able to make something else towards our next snowball item. So that's 4. And our lines. so that's all set up and ready to go. We're not going to do anything with it at the moment, but I can go ahead and start putting in our income. Let's get that more at the table level. And I should probably zoom you guys in a little bit. There we go. So looking at my spreadsheet, we will put 5,000 expected for my business, 0 for everything else. I instinctively keep wanting to fold this notebook back onto itself, but it's going to be much more difficult to write that way. Okay, for fixed expenses, I'm just going to go ahead and write all of these in. You've seen the totals before, and I'm just going to go ahead and speed this part up. Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. First my battery died and then my memory card was full, so I had to cut the video at least twice. I don't know how much I got and how much I lost, but you get the general idea. So that is what our budget is going to look like. You'll notice that I didn't actually zero everything out. I'm going to try something a little bit different this month. Instead of like using that miscellaneous category, obviously we'll have that, but we're not going to budget anything for it. What I'm going to do is that extra, what is it, 8260, I'm going to put over in the other side. So we have, let's flip this. So for totals, we're going to have, and I have to do this so that my left hand can write next to the coil. So we have income, fixed expenses, variable expenses, and snowball or debt payments. So for our income, we are planning on that $5,000. For fixed expenses, we had $32.92.40, $32.92.40. Variable expenses were $16.25, $16.25. And our debt snowball will be the remaining $82.60. So that's where we're going to be planning on putting towards our snowball, and then that will be where we zero out our budget. And now I think I'm going to go and grab a debt tracker sheet so that I can set up my debt area here. Okay, let's go ahead and start putting in our debts from lowest to highest balance. So we have the Home Depot card, which the starting balance was, hold on, let me just double check on that. It should be that 40, oh yeah, okay. I had to get my spreadsheet up. So the starting balance was $444.81. I can, well, I'll just go ahead and put 0 here because it is paid off. Today is December 8th, by the way, that I'm finally recording this video, so that's why we've already made some progress. Discover. Jetta. Jeep. And maybe Federal. So starting in January, I will only have 4 items here. That is very exciting. So our Discover balance is $390,792, or I should say on December 1st it was this. We've made a payment since to bring this and the Navy Federal down. But again, I will explain more about that in the November follow-up. For our Jetta, sorry, my eyesight is not the best, and my laptop is down on the floor. Alright. The Jetta is $6,382. $6,382. $6. The Jeep is $11,477,515. And Navy Federal was $14,977,85. Okay. So the total here is $187,187.79. All right. So hopefully by the end of December we can get maybe down below 36, I think. Hopefully. Alright, and then I just leave this section here open for any notes that I need to leave for myself. For example, I might break down some Christmas spending over on this side, anything unexpected that comes up. Stuff like that. If there's unusual budget activity, I like to put a note for it over here so that when I go back months or years later, I'll know what the heck is going on. So this is the final set up for my December budget. I'm not really loving the final look that has been going on with my budgets lately because it looks a little haphazard. I really wish that I had fewer items over here in the expenses so that I can fit the totals underneath, but maybe I can condense things a little bit next month. I'm not really sure. We'll see going forward how I want to adjust. But this has been working for now, so I've just kind of been copying the previous month every month and not thinking forward into how I want to adjust it. But anyway, let me know what you thought about the whole setup process and getting to see my budget pre-planning on my spreadsheet and things like that. I'm not going to be doing that every month because this video is going to be quite lengthy and it will take quite some time to edit, but I do like to show a little bit more of that setup process every now and then so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on in my head while I set things up. If you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like the lengthy setup, give me a thumbs down. Let me know. So I know whether I should make these every, quarter or really kind of make them a rare event. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye, guys.